What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a cool video. I hope it's going to be cool because today we are installing my new catch can and oil separator for the Chevrolet Corvette. That's right, I got this kit from Elite Engineering, and this is something that I think every car needs, because anytime you have a combustion engine, there's a thing called blow-by, and what that does is, that's what your PCV is for. It is a positive crankcase ventilation valve, and what that does is it takes that crankcase pressure and pushes it back into the intake manifold. But without something in between to catch the oil and contaminants, that dirty air is getting back into your intake manifold and causing carbon buildup, oil to be in the intake manifold, and it's just not a good time for the car. And over time, that stuff can destroy your engine, and this product here will prevent that from happening. So here's the can out of its packaging. Now look at that quality aluminum. It's real solid. I wish I could show you guys how solid this thing really is out of the packaging. There's Elite Engineering on the top. You've got your inlet hose and outlet hose here. I mean, it looks great. I can't be happier with the build quality. Here we have a bunch of hardware, hose clamps, screws, an O-ring, things like that for the catch can. Here is another hose. Now I opted this time, I didn't do this last time, but I opted to get a clean side separator, and basically what that does is, since this separates the dirty side air, the stuff coming out of the PCV, this handles stuff from the clean side. So this product here handles stuff from the clean side, and also you can tell that same great craftsmanship, Elite Engineering on the top, billet aluminum, and this goes into it replaces your stock oil cap. So you place it in there. The other hose is routed to another outlet. I'll show you on the car. I don't know all the technical term, but once it's twisted in there, you can take it, you can pop it right off. You can kind of see it coming up. It's hard to do this stuff one-handed, and that's how you fill up your oil and everything. And you place it back on and you're good to go. So we're going to install that, and of course here's the hardware for that. 2 more hose clamps and a little stopper here for the stock place that we're going to plug up, and the bracket. So without further ado, let's get to the install. Alright, welcome back. We're out here at the car, and so basically this is the stock setup. There's the clean side line supplying the clean air back into the valve cover, and this is our PCV line down here past this harness for the throttle body. We will be removing that and putting on the catch can to route between that. But first, before we start on that, we're gonna have to mount our bracket and our catch can first. That way we can accurately measure and cut our hoses for later. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I got the hardware here. Your washers go on the bolts like that. Easy enough. Take the bracket, and I'm going to mount the catch can this way. So I don't know if you can see that, but there are 2 bolts going into the head here. One right there and one down there. That's where I'm gonna bolt up to. So I'm gonna lay down 1 bolt, and of course we're gonna leave it loose so that we're able to make adjustments and fine tune and whatnot. Okay, we're back. Got my bracket mounted really loosely. Man, why is it every time I go record, there's a loud car coming through? But anyway, hopefully you can hear me over him. I got my bracket loosely fitted, so that way we can take our catch can and sort of adjust the placement of where we need it. Get your screws here. These small screws screw into the back of the catch can. Okay, so I just struggled a lot. Putting on this bracket was a bitch. Putting these on was a bitch. I even lost one in the engine. Luckily I got it back. But man, it's a really tight area, so that's why it's really hard to get to some of these things. But luckily our catch can is mounted. It does unscrew and screw back in, even though the area is really tight. So hopefully we are good to go with everything else. All right, so I think we finally have something we can use here. Be really careful when you're adjusting this thing, because there are coolant hoses right below it, and it's hard to screw the bottom off and back on again because there's not enough clearance for you to get it threaded properly. Oh, this is on the bottom of my dipstick. What the heck? But once you have all that adjusted, now we can finally get to pulling off this hose and routing our lines to the inlet here, and then to the outlet right here, going back into the intake manifold. So let's get some pliers or something to pull that off with. I'm just gonna use my trusty black and red pliers here. I'm gonna try and grab this PCV and pull it off. Here it comes. Oh yeah. Yep, there it goes. So that's the top side. Dang, this thing is hard. It is not flexible at all. But you can kind of, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of oil in there. And my wrist hurts from leaning on this thing, so I don't lean on the fender. Come on. Trying to pull it off the, oh, well. Old hoses, I hate it. I tore it. You see that? So now that's broken on there, but at least I can get a better grip and twist it off. Luckily, this catch can replaces that whole piece, so I'm not worried about it. Now we can grab the hose itself. This thing was a pain in the ass. Holy shit, man. What the fuck, dude? Okay. All custom side. That's our PCV valve. That is the outlet leading from the crankcase. That's gonna go into here, and then the other line is gonna go out of our catch can back into the intake manifold up here. So let's get that done. All right, so another note, another pain in the ass note. This metal piece, I don't know if you can see it leading into the head, this thing will prevent you from getting this hose clamp past it. So you have to put the hose clamp on the end and finesse it past this thing right here. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but this thing doesn't budge, and once you have the hose all the way adjusted, you cannot finagle your hose clamp to the end. So that's got to be done first before you can put your hose clamp here. But right now we're going to measure and cut our lines, because this is too much line for us to use. So I like to measure past the fitting a little bit and then make our cut here. I like to give a little bit of play. So this looks like a good place to cut, and then I give it a little bit extra. There we go. I might be able to make something work here though. Maybe. I don't know though, it's really tight. And see the heat. Oh, I think I got lucky. Nope, never mind. The world hates me. This is Okay, I think I kind of got it on there. I just gotta twist it on there all the way. So you see it's almost up to the threads. You want it up to the threads. So I'm gonna take my wide stupid stance here and twist it until it's all the way up there. You see that? Okay. So that will screw right back into there. Basically, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to take this off so I'm able to fit this on properly. I'm going to measure and cut the other hose leading from this hole right here, then the intake manifold, to this hole right here. I'm going to cut and measure, and when I come back, everything will be fitted struggle free. I swear to God dang. Another little tip, you might need to remove this hose ahead of time, and I removed the throttle body harness to give myself extra room to work with here, because it's a pain in the ass to try and get around this and this at the same time. So I'm going to cut the camera, and I'm not going to come back until this thing is done, because I'm tired of going back and forth. Alright, so this is awkward because I just recorded an outro, but it turns out my camera wasn't even recording. So this is the actual outro. We got everything installed. We got the clean side separator going into the throttle body. We got the Elite engineering catch can going in between the PCV. So that's going to filter out all that dirty air, and we'll have nice clean air going into the intake manifold. I'm just looking forward to seeing how this thing performs. Again, I've had this product before, so I know how good it is, but you know, it's just exciting to have a new mod on the car, and to have something that will add a little bit of peace of mind while you're driving. You know, that'll keep the oil out of the intake manifold and stuff. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. As always, guys, take care.